Hey, what up YouTube? Casper here. So I got my preseason 1 Uber Lilith kill down with Bone Spear Necro. Definitely feel great about it. You know, I posted to some forums and people were very responsive and want to see the build and see the kill. So I'm going to break that all down for you, show you the kill. If I can do it, anybody can do it if you have this character. So, you know, it takes some time to farm the gear. But here's Casper's preseason Uber Lilith kill. Let's get it. Man, you know, I just been on my Diablo 4 grind lately.
Let's go!
Yeah, Lilith's gotta
Die. I'm level 99.
Yeah.
I'm back on my grind.
Chill.
Yeah. Lilith's gotta die. Lilith's gotta die. I'm level 99. I'm back on my grind. Lilith's gotta die. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. I'm back on my grind. I'm level 99. Lilith's gotta die.
Yeah, look her right in the eye. Blue eye, gray eye. Don't mess with the dead eye. I'm cutting through these demons like a motherfucking Jedi. Yeah. And I might mess around and buy a cosmetic. Tell Uber Lilith you better call a medic. And then I'm gonna loot her. Yeah, cause you're messing with the volume shooter. And I'm gonna drop the video same day as llama. That's cause I'm the man now, yeah, no drama. And I'm gonna see you in the PvP arena. And you probably gonna see me one shot in your mama.
Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. I'm level 99. I'm back on my grind. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. Lilith's gotta die. I'm level 99. I'm back on my grind. Lilith's gotta die. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. I'm back on my grind. I'm level 99.
I was born with a legendary imprint, and I'm checking out her aspect. But I don't mean no disrespect. But your boy's about to get wrecked. Flexing ain't no thing. Yeah, your barbs are skinny than a shoestring. I'm dizzy off a whirlwind, and your boy's about to win.
Lilith's gotta die. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. Yeah, I'm level 99. I'm back on my grind. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. Lilith's gotta die. I'm level 99. Yeah, back on my grind.
Nerf the barbs and watch them fall. Whoa, Blizzard didn't have this DPS in mind at all. Nope. But I stay ready for the season.
I'm the answer and the reason. I've been grinding and grinding for years. These demons are grinding my gears. All y'all do is complain and complain. It really is hurting my ears. Yeah, Lilith's gotta die. Lilith's gotta die. I'm back on my grind. Level 99. Lilith's gotta die. I looked her right in the eye. Blue eye, gray eye. Don't mess with the dead eye. I'm cutting through these demons like a motherfucking Jedi.
The butcher. We don't talk about the butcher, cause he pops up and punks your ass like Ashton Kutcher. Whoa. And we can't forget about the Shaco. Cause I'm the kind of guy that'll scam you with the Faco. What? Is this an emerald, bro? A perfect emerald?
Getting back on my grind. I'm getting back on my grind. I'm level 99.
Alright, cool. So, first rap I've ever made. If you stuck around this far, I'm gonna get into the build. Very proud of that song, you know. Never done anything like that before, but I had fun doing it. I think that's all that really matters, but did want to share it with you guys. And if you stuck around this long, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. But here's the mount, and gonna show you, you know, this is what you get from killing Uber Lilith, and then show you the PvP armor on there, and then also get into the build guide, Paragon, gear, all that. Thank you. Alright, so now we're going to get into the guide part of the build and all that. I've had some requests for people asking how this build works, and I'm just going to get straight into it. I've had to record this a few times, so if you could please like and subscribe and leave a comment, that would help me out so much. I've had to record this 2 or 3 times. My computer crashed at one point. Second point, the audio wasn't there, so I just really had to been going through it, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. We're gonna get straight into the Paragon board. Let's go. At least if anything, I definitely know what I'm talking about at this point. So we're gonna have our starter board, and we're gonna have the glyph here, sacrificial. We're gonna move on up. We're gonna go with our bone graft legendary node here on the bottom right. If you need to rotate anything, just make sure you copy it like this. You're going to add in your exploit glyph. Also, make sure, please, you get all your glyphs up to level 21. That's going to help you so much, make your life easier, make you do more damage. We're going to come on over and get the Scent of Death legendary node. And that's going to be the board number 3. Sent to death. That's going to do more damage. If there's no corpses around. If there is corpses around, give you some damage resistance. So that's really nice. You're going to have Imbiber. It's going to give you 107% extra damage while healthy. Shout out to Rob and Nick on YouTube. They were the ones that created this build, and it just totally helped me to be able to get this done as Bone Spear Necro. So people always ask me, you know, how are you able to have tons of attack power, almost 19,000 or 19,000? It's because of one of my pieces of gear that we'll talk about with the imprint, the aspect, and then also with this. Not that. With this. Doing extra damage while healthy. So, we're going to go on down to the 4th board. And we're going to grab, let's see, Flesh Eater as the legendary node. That's going to be on the left here. And we're going to add in Gravekeeper as our glyph. Extra 40% damage to elites. So if you don't know, now you know. Bosses are considered elites as well. And the requirement's only 25 dex. That's why we're putting this board on 4th and this board here last. If we were to do this in a different order and put this on and then tag this board on last, going from like right to left, then it's going to change the requirements. So don't do that. Do this board 4th. Flesh Eater, when you consume and pop with Corpse Explosion 5 corpses, you're going to get 40% multiplicative extra damage. Just huge amounts of damage. That's how we're able to get this Uber Lilith kill as easy as we are without having to even deal with the mechanics of the fight. Okay, we're going to have our last board here as Bloodbath, and this enables us to get a real quick glyph spot. It's going to be Essence with 97% extra crit damage with core skills, which obviously Bone Spear is a core skill. Moving on to the skill tree. Bone Splinters as our generator, Enhanced Bone Splinters, and then Acolyte's Bone Splinters for extra crit when you hit them with that move. Bone Spear, obviously max that out, 5 out of 5. We got +4 from our gloves. Enhanced Bone Spear, and then Paranormal is just going to give us extra crit, and then also makes it so that if you do crit, you get an extra on the splinters bouncing off the wall or the max range, making it 5, which is super nice. So definitely do that. Blood Mist, I got 1 point. If you have that from gear, that's fine. Corpse Explosion, 1 point. Let's see, actually I need to go over these two. Unliving Energy, we got 3 out of 3 for maximum essence, and then Imperfectly Balanced, 3 out of 3, which is going to make your Bone Spear cost more, but you're going to deal more damage with it. 3 out of 3 Hewed Flesh, this is huge. Critical strike chance, or excuse me, lucky hit chance to create corpses, and it's doubled against bosses, so that's super nice. Hope they don't mess with that at all anymore. Grim Harvest, consuming a corpse generates 6 essence, 3 out of 3. Fueled by Death, 3 out of 3, increases 9% increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. Death's Embrace, 2 out of 3. This is pretty much helping you tank better for close enemies and do a little more damage to them. 3 out of 3, Death's Reach, 12% increased damage to distance enemies. That's nice. Corpse Tendrils, I got 1 point. Enhanced, and then Plagued. This is going to help make sure you have vulnerability on them no matter what. I got 1 in Necrotic. You could take this point, I think, maybe, and move it over to here if you wanted for 3 out of 3 over there. That could be nice. 3 out of 3 Serration, 3 out of 3 Compound Fracture, and then 3 out of 3 Evulsion, and then you're going to definitely want +3 on your amulet to make it 6 out of 3. That's something I learned from the guide that they put out as well. So I just want to emphasize that you're going to need this on amulet, and I'll go over that when I get to the gear. Standalone, 3 out of 3. This is pretty much damage reduction for not having a minion. 3 out of 3 Memento Mori. This is pretty much increased sacrifice bonuses. Let's see, Inspiring Leader. This is going to help you get attack speed while you're healthy, which we're already kind of doing that in our kit with our extra damage while healthy. So we're going to try and keep ourselves topped off and just do as much damage as we can. Let's go. Ultimate Bone Storm, Prime Bone Storm for DR, damage reduction, and then Supreme Bone Storm for 20% critical strike chance. So super nice. We're going to go with Ossified Essence, which is going to be our key passive. All right. Onto the gear, everybody's favorite part of Diablo. Deathless Visage or Visage, however you want to say it, is our unique helm. I definitely recommend using this. If you can't find it, you can't find it. What are you going to do? You definitely want to try and get max essence on your helm if not. But ours here is going to give us armor, more damage for physical damage. Bone Spear is considered physical damage. It's kind of crazy, actually. Normally you think of that as like a melee weapon, but physical damage. And then critical strike damage with bone skills. And then I'm lucky here, I got a 27 max essence perfect roll on that. So if you don't know, the key passive pretty much is after 50 essence, anything extra you have above that is going to give you extra damage. So you want to keep yourself as high as possible. Chest piece. You want to get some damage on there and some damage resistance. So I got 18% bone skill damage and then raw damage, which is super nice. And then we got damage reduction from distant, damage reduction from close. As far as the imprint, you're going to want to have the barrier while hidden in elite. This is super nice because, like I said earlier, Lilith is going to be considered an elite. Any boss pretty much will be, and it's just overall super nice to have this extra huge barrier. Definitely want to try and get a perfect roll if you can. I messed up a bunch of my aspects, so I don't have perfect pretty much anything at this point. Okay, the gloves are something else, man. They're a pain, but they totally enable you to be able to get this fight done easily. Critical strike chance, lucky hit chance to restore essence. Like I said earlier, the higher your essence, the more damage. So you want to keep that damage up with lucky hit or however you can. Next is going to be lucky hit chance, raw, 10%, and then +4 bone spear. You gotta have this. Don't do 3. You're going to be gimping your damage way too much. Okay, put your ossified essence key buff legendary imprint here, and obviously try and get the highest roll you can. Pants. I got all damage reduction on my pants. Dodge chance, damage reduction from close, raw damage reduction from distant, and then also the armor additive imprint, whatever you want to call it. Highest roll you can get. Boots. I really liked once I put intellect on my boots. I was very impressed. So I got intellect, essence cost reduction, dodge chance, and then movement speed. Obviously Necromancer doesn't have a lot of move speed or utility in his kit for moving around, so you want that here in boots. The imprint you're going to use is critical strikes grant move speed for up to 6 seconds. You probably wouldn't want the dodge chance if you could get corpse tendrils. That would make the corpse tendrils up more often, making more crit, more damage. Weapon, huge. Once I got a weapon that was built like this, I was able to do tons more damage. So vulnerable damage, intellect, which is our core stat, critical strike damage, and then core skill damage. People don't always get that. They try to get the bones crit strike damage, and that just doesn't work as well as the core skill damage. So much damage right there. 57% to bone spear. That's huge. And then obviously two-handed swords already come with raw crit strike damage, so you really don't need 3 rolls of it on there. That's kind of too much in one bucket, but that's a whole nother thing. All right, for the imprint you're going to use the bone spear splinter one that makes the enemies or bosses vulnerable, and then also makes it so the shards, when they hit off the max distance or the wall, do tons more damage, up to 225%. Amulet. This is what I talked about earlier. Make sure you have +3 to Avulsion passive. This is huge. This makes you do more vulnerable damage. Essence cost reduction, you could do CDR. I really love on this the 8% raw intellect. It's not 8 intellect, it's 8%. So your total intellect and then 8% of that on top. Damage reduction is always good. And then this is where you're going to want to put your corpse tendrils imprint. This is going to help you to get to that 100% crit chance, and as well, obviously 81 is my roll, but you could do 45 to 90% extra crit damage to enemies that are hit by corpse tendrils. Rings, we got bone skill, critical damage, max essence, critical strike damage again, so it's like double crit strike damage on their rolls, and then crit chance. You need these crit chance on rings. Physical damage, vulnerable damage, crit chance, critical strike. On this ring, something that on Nick's video that totally like helped me and I didn't do when I was just playing on my own is having this imprint where when you stand still, you get a ton of extra damage. 30% multiplicative extra. It's really huge on the Lilith fight. It's not good all the time, but for the most part, you know, you're kind of standing back and just shooting bone spears at max range anyway, so it kind of makes sense. Went over this one. You're definitely going to want some type of vulnerable damage on the rings. Don't use lucky hit on rings. Max essence is super nice to get more damage like we talked about earlier. And then we got the lucky hit chance imprint on here, that when you're hitting a vulnerable target, which we're going to spread in total a ton of vulnerable damage already, chance to just generate tons of extra essence or mana, whatever you want to call it. Bet. So we're getting through this good. This is great. And I think I even got to record the audio this time, boys. Let's go. So, just really quick, I wanted to show you how we can get up to like 30 something attack power. As far as stats, with if you get the gear similar to what I have, you're going to get like 40% crit. You want to get up to 45 if possible. Tons of crit strike damage, core critical strike damage with bone. Necromancer is just... Bone Spear at least is just so good at just stacking so many different damage buffs, so that's why it's just nuts. You don't have a ton else in your kit but just damage, so you're just smashing damage. So kind of what I think they should do to Sorceress, honestly. Then I'd probably play it. It kind of reminds me of like Destruction Warlock back in the WoW days when I used to play. Alright, so now I just want to show. I'm going to stand still, pop these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like we do in the Lilith fight. 35,000 attack power. That's it, boys. That's the guide. Please like and subscribe so we can grow the YouTube channel. Casper out. Later.